one of the most horrendously training exercises to bend the minds of people have been on sexuality. And most people don't even realize what has happened, because some people only saw it after it becomes so full-blown, you see. But absolutely, in other words, we've been trained. Oh my God, can I speak frankly?
Might as well preach it all.
Yeah, so like, how come, we get some good looking women in here, so yeah. How can a woman's behind become so instrumental in stirring up people's anxieties and desires? Huh? Wait, no, not yet. Okay, I'm on a train here. I'm gonna let you get on the train in a minute, on the track, whatever. Okay, so that's been a train. Now, see, sexuality, one reason it's such a problem in our society is because, you see, it was built into the human race, sexuality, by God for a purpose. Okay, so in other words, the desires were there anyway. But now what they have done is took the fire of that and poured a lot of gasoline on it. Okay, and that is all inflamed so that it's just so pervasive. The Lord spoke to me just some years, a couple of years ago or so. He says, how can a woman's frame or behind, become an object of worship when it should be noted as an exit point for body's refuse? Huh? Is that right? So how could it become such a all-encompassing, hypnotizing, desiring thing? It was programmed. We have been programmed. Started centuries ago, back in the roaring 20s, I think it was. That's why the stock market crash or the depression came, some people say, in the latter part of the 20s or 30s or something like that, because of the rampant sexuality and the way it was flaunted during the jitterbug and all that other stuff back in that day. And so therefore, but then the Great Depression came. I don't know if y'all read about that or not. And but then, of course, a lot of people just didn't get a warning from that. So then years after that, it become more and more of a problem. So in other words, it's been flaunted so that young people now start off very early. So yeah, so that's why we're paying a price now, and have been for a long time. That's why this is important. You have to realize the problem it has caused, especially for young people, right? Because they want to fit in to the mold, right? They want their bodies to be seen, right? Very early on in life. And so therefore we have, but now you see we have basically seen the end results of the sexualizing of society. Okay, in other words, because if anything becomes so common for so long, it begins to lose its power or its impact on the minds and hearts of people. You see, if they've been there and done that for so long, then it begin to lose its significance to people. And so now, young people especially, the word is that since in the last 10 years, the suicide rate among teens and early 20-year-old people has been skyrocketing. And why? Because they've been to every rave possible, right? They've used every drug, in some cases, as possible. Had as much as sexuality as they can, because it's so been so prevalent, right? But now it's cheap. Very cheap. The meat market is cheapened, if I might say that. And so therefore then, when something is so available, it loses its value. And so that's what has happened. But now but the training of people's minds is what has brought this about. The point is is that they've done a job on the population. Okay? And I must say, me too, until I got set free through Jesus Christ. Until he opened my eyes to what was really happening. So you have to know what's going on. You know, what you're living for. And what is it going to amount to you? You see. So you have to look at things on an honest, open way and realize that the world is doing a job on your mind. You see. Because that's marketing. They call it marketing. What's the other word? What? Propaganda. Yeah, that's the bad name for it. But I think they call it public relations or something in this country. But it's propaganda to really shape the minds of people to think a certain way. And so, and people have been like part of a herd. You see, in terms of the minds being shaped a certain way. So then, when it's a herd, many people are involved, right? And so that's what's been going on. But then, what it does, though, it's really strips us of our main humanity. The main part of us as human beings that God has left in us, even before we come to Christ, is having free will. To make choices according to the way you personally evaluate things, not the way you're told to. But now these cell phones, as you probably should know by now, check out some YouTube videos on how the cell phones are being used to manage our minds, if you will allow it. Because it'll tell you what to buy, tell you when to go to Amazon, if you let it do you that way. You see, you go there once for something you need, then they're going to send you a lot of ads on other stuff that you don't need. You see, but if you were weak enough to say, well, I think I'll check that out too. No, then you're going to be strung out, and because they're not going to let up, because they want your money. So this is what it's about in today's environment, is that there's a war on your mind.